Hello, everybody. Welcome to my first timers and welcome to my returners. How's everyone doing tonight on this wonderful, thankful Thursday? Okay, listen, I just told them backstage, like, I feel like I'm a maniac right now because I am super excited about this episode. It is very personal, it is very educational, and I have not one, not two, but three guests tonight. And we went back to the Georgia Peach area. All right, we have people from Atlanta and we have people from Macon, Georgia. And hello, Nick. Thank you for watching. Oh my goodness. I promise you, I'm so excited about this show because when you're talking about organ transplants, there are some subjects that are like taboo. People feel as if you should not talk about it. And I love my show because the sky is the limit. Like, we can talk about what people are afraid to talk about. And that's why I'm so grateful and honored that my guests are on the show and they are advocates doing what they need to do in the community. Okay. Hello, Nicholas. Hello, Jared. Hello, everyone that's watching on YouTube. Guys, if you can all just do me a favor and share, don't be stingy, as Jared would say on his show. Don't be stingy. Share this broadcast. And listen, I'm here for it. Okay. I am here for it today. We talked last night. This is like part 2 of an interview, and we might need to do a part 3 because it was definitely, I learned so much. And, being an educator, when you know better, you do better. And I tell my students that all the time. For everybody that's on right now, tell me, where are you from? Where's everybody from tonight? Where's everybody from? Please drop the comments in the box, okay? Please drop the comments and let me know where you are. If you're an organ donor, let me know if you're an organ donor as well, and give me a blue heart and give me a green heart. I do have another lightning bolt today. I found one more person that became an organ donor when they got their license, and it was a student at my school. That's very near and dear to my heart. So I'm forever grateful to continue to be able to, yes, we're going to save 1,000 lives. And I just like to show everybody and remind you again of why we're doing this. And if you would like to become an organ donor, you could go to donatelifeflorida.org and complete the application. And then at the very bottom where it says, how did you learn about it? You click other and then specify save 1,000 lives. And Transplant Talk is about educating. It's about bringing awareness and definitely killing the myths that people have about organ donation. So today's topic, I bet in a million years you didn't think about this. So tonight we're talking again about kidney transplants, HIV. Yes, I said it. HIV. Hello, Mr. Tony. Hello, Jonathan from Texas. Hey, Keisha from Jacksonville. Hey, my bestie. And we're talking about the HOPE Act. Bet y'all didn't know about that one, right? So we're going to get into it. I have Miss Asha. Y'all, I said her name right, so I'm really proud. Who is from from Georgia. And we're going to hear more about what she does with LifeLink. I hope I said that right, LifeLink Foundation. And let me bring her on now. Everybody, please welcome Miss Asha Warner Ellen to the show. Again to the show, because she was on my telethon. So welcome back. Hi. Listen, I'm finally getting your name right after after 4 or 5 times.
Because we talk so much now, so we're like besties.
I know. We girlfriends now because
exactly.
We can have it. All righty. So Asha, tell us about what you do with and let me make sure I put it up here. She's with the LifeLink Foundation.org. Okay, so that is her. That's the website, and she's going to give us a little bit of background on what she does. So, Asha, take it away.
Okay. I'm actually with LifeLink of Georgia. The LifeLink Foundation consists of LifeLink of Georgia, LifeLink of Florida, and LifeLink of Puerto Rico. So I'm actually, I'm an education specialist with LifeLink of Georgia, and I service the Macon, Middle Georgia area. So for those of you who may not be familiar with Georgia, if you look at a map of Georgia and you put a little pin in the very middle, that's Middle Georgia, that's Macon. And so I cover the Macon, Middle Georgia area with LifeLink. LifeLink, we're the nonprofit procurement organization, like Georgia, like I said, for the state of Georgia, which basically means we facilitate the organ tissue donation process. So in my role as an education specialist, I work within the multi-cultural donation education program. And so within our program, we specifically focus on outreach and education to multicultural communities, primarily the African American and Hispanic communities, just because that's where the greatest need is needed as far as registered donors. And so we do a lot of community outreach and education, bringing awareness and education about the importance of why we should be organ donors. And unfortunately, during COVID, we have been able to get out in the community. So we're grateful for platforms like yours, Nashonda, that allow us to still be able to reach people and reach people virtually. And we're beginning to see how important, it is to be able to go across, our boundaries, our borders, to be able to reach and bring the message. So even though I hate this season of COVID, I am glad that during this season, you have platforms such as yours be able to still educate and bring awareness.
Listen, that's my job. That is what I apparently was born to do, which was
And you do it well.
thank you so much. And when I first started this, I said, what I have to teach people about organ donation? I said, but I'm an educator, so that's what I do. So the more I learn, the more I can help other people, gain more knowledge and become um, and become aware of what is missing, especially in this multicultural community.
Yes.
Okay. And so, in Georgia, I do know that you all are out there, you are pounding the pavement, getting the word out, why people should become organ donors. But you not only work with them, but you also work very closely with the gentleman that's on the show as well. So can you tell us a little bit about that program? Or
Okay, absolutely.
okay.
Well, the gentleman, the guest, everyone will soon meet. We're talking about the HOPE Act specifically today. For those who may not know, December 1st was World AIDS Day. And I serve, in addition to my role as far as working with Link, I also serve on the Community Advisory Board with our local HIV clinic here in my town, here in Macon. The Compass Cares, formerly known as the Hope Center. So you may hear me sometimes say Hope Center, just because I'm just so used to saying Hope Center, but the new name is actually Compass Cares. And so I sit on the board as far as with Compass Cares. And how that relationship actually came about, it came about through me doing community outreach and educating people living with HIV about organ donation and educating them about the HOPE Act. Because a lot of people are not familiar with the HOPE Act. A lot of people living with HIV are not aware that they can register to be organ donors. So just to give some background as far as HOPE Act, the HOPE Act was signed into legislation in 2013 by President Barack Obama. And the HOPE Act allows individuals who are living with HIV to be donors or recipients who are living with HIV.
Mm-hmm.
So prior to the HOPE Act, it was forbidden, it was prohibited for anyone who was living with HIV to be donors. But we've always had individuals living with HIV on the waiting list, whether it be needing kidneys, whether it be liver. There have always been individuals on the wait list living with HIV. And in the past, their option would be, just like anyone else, their option would be, getting a transplant and an organ from someone who was not living with HIV. But because of the advancement of science, of medicine, people living longer, healthier lives, HIV is not the virus. It's not the disease that it was in the 80s, in the 90s. People are living, and that's why we don't even use the term HIV positive anymore. We say
Mhm.
living with HIV because that's what people are actually doing.
Mhm.
Individuals who are able to, keep it, care for themselves, follow their health regimen, keep their appointments, take their medication, live healthy lives, are living long, healthy lives with
Mhm.
HIV. And
Mhm.
those same individuals are potential candidates to potentially able to be donors to be able to save other individuals who are living with HIV. So
That is amazing. You
it
know, that
really is.
that
It
is
really is.
amazing
I mean,
because
who would have thought
right,
10, 15, 20 years ago that that would even be an option?
right. So, 25, Lord, I've been out of high school a long time now. But, going to when I was in junior high, I shared with you all yesterday that my one of the guys I went to school with, he did contract the virus, and he passed away, and he ended up being on MTV, and he just showed the world, Pedro. He just showed the world what he was experiencing, and to hear that now, 25, 30 plus years later, this is God. We owe. Um, now to hear that there is hope. Thank you, Tony. There is hope for all. Like it doesn't have to be a death sentence. And now you're able to only give a kidney and a liver, but at least there's hope for people that are living, with kidney disease or with, liver disease. So I know the way I said I was going to bring them in, but I want to bring Greg in real quick, and I want him to because you work very closely with him
Yeah.
with Compass Hope. So everyone, please welcome the extraordinaire, the dapper, the charming Gregory Harris. And I'm telling you, he has a big old smile on his face, y'all.
Good
Hello,
evening, everyone. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I can't complain. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
I am beyond excited that you are on here. Hello, everybody. Let me just say hello to all my pop-ups. Everybody just leaving a comment. So I'm just so happy that you all are here. So, Mr. Gregory, why don't you give us a little bit of background about you, sir?
Alrighty. So again, my name is Gregory Harris. I am a native of Macon, Georgia, and I am a person living with HIV. I was diagnosed back in 2015 when I was staying in Virginia, shortly after exiting the military. So I am a Navy veteran as well. Um, but while I was in college, I found out I was diagnosed with HIV. I do readily admit that at first I was in denial because I did a home kit in the privacy of my home. I wasn't comfortable going to the doctor just yet. Um, but while I was interning at a particular office, I was sorting out some files between the HIV positive individuals or people living with diabetes at an assisted living facility. And I came across a name that I had previously had sexual intercourse with. And again, I do readily admit it takes two to tango. So I can't blame this person because again, it takes two to tango. So due to my promiscuity, I am at fault for that. However, as we have already stated, it's not a death sentence. But after seeing that name, it prompted me to okay, let's go ahead and go to this local health department and get this thing figured out. And so in the back of my mind, I was like, okay, this test is faulty. This is not going to happen to me. And me being the person I am, I wanted to believe that people are going to be honest when they're positive. Oh, I'm going to tell you, at least I'm going to tell you positive. So that way it won't be, life change or life altering for you. People are not honest. Had to
Mm,
learn that the hard way. Nevertheless, so after I figured out and being in school, I'm a medical assistant as well. I knew the medicine behind it and how that operates. But I wasn't prepared for the stigma behind it. and the backlash from the community or the family members or even certain employers, which I'll get into later on in the show. Certain employers that I used to work for lost friends, some family members stopped talking to me, and I had to realize um, it's me that I have to take care of.
Yeah.
It's me, and it's not them. At the end of the day, John, Harry, Paul, I may see them in here, but at the end of the day, who am I taking care of? Who's the most important person for me?
Yeah.
And I want to continue to live. So you have to realize that. And that's even going into the organ donation,
Mhm.
with
Yeah.
me being a donor for that.
Mhm.
Um, so we'll get a little bit to that a little later as well.
All right. Listen, yeah, you know what? Aisha said it earlier, like we might have to have a part three. And I mean, absolutely. I don't see why, that we could not. And if I may ask you, how long have you been living with with the virus? How long have you been living with HIV?
It's been 5 years now. I want to say February 2015.
Hmm.
Mhm.
You feel like your life just changed forever?
I can say everything you think is a curse is a blessing in disguise. This has made me a stronger individual
Hmm.
mentally,
Hmm.
physically, and emotionally.
Hmm.
And to do the work I do in the community, it has prepared me seeing the ugly side of that.
Hmm.
I'm gonna paraphrase one of my favorite authors, the late James Baldwin, but to know the intimate or the ugly side of one's profession is to have an intimate knowledge of that. And that resounds within me because
Oh boy.
to experience all of that and then to be able to utilize that in the community is that more empowerment to other individuals.
Boy, you better preach on here. I hear you. I hear you. I see you. I see what you're doing. Man, this is I'm gonna bring Miss Ellen back on real quick again because you two definitely work very, very heavily. Y'all work close, together, at least going out in the community and pounding the pavement. How are you received,
That's
by
my community mom there.
say
She's
again?
like my adopted mother.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. And I know she just recently celebrated a birthday. So happy belated birthday. Um, right. But when you go out, are they receptive to you? Or do they just shy away? Because we know most people barely want to talk about organ donation. So to add HIV and organ donation on there, I mean, how tough is that subject?
Yeah.
I have a
Can I chime in and answer that right quick also first?
Mhm.
Well, first I want to say, first of all, what we do, it definitely takes strong community partners in a village. And I definitely have that strong community partnership with Compass Cares here in Macon, as well as other supporting organizations. Fort Valley State University Pride Navigator Program, the HARP, which is HIV/AIDS Reformation Partners, Mercer University here in Macon, just to name a few, where we've all worked collectively and everyone has the same goals and initiative. And so when I was able to finally connect with Compass Cares, it started. I always tell people with any partnership, you can't just go in with your own agenda. My agenda, of course, yes, I want to register people to be organ donors, of course. But at the same time, too, people have to know you. People have to trust you. People have to get to know you, and you have to get to know them. This is a people oriented profession in which we're in. And so it just started off with me just doing community events, partnering with Compass Cares. A couple of years ago, we did a huge World AIDS Day symposium where we partnered with the Tubman African American Museum here in Macon. And we also realized that people have a lot of other needs, provided food, we provided, various resources people needed. So it wasn't just me just coming in, talking to people about the HOPE Act and getting them registered. It was first building that trust within the community. The director at Compass Cares, Dale Wrigley, had allowed me to be able to put flyers around in the clinic, advertising, because of course there's a privacy, HIPAA laws. So,
Right.
but he allowed me to have literature and flyers around the office, around the facility, and the clinic, and the pharmacy, advertising and sharing about the Hope Act. We've done and partnered on initiatives when we've done the community food pantry and giving away groceries. So it took all of those different things to finally then get to the point where now I have a table that up and people are now comfortable with coming to the LifeLink table to learn how they can be an organ donor. And when I share with them about the Hope Act and let them know that even though you're living with HIV, you can be a registered organ donor. It's a sense of pride that actually comes about with people, because now so many people who have been shunned and maybe families and friends have turned their backs on, now they're seeing where, wow, I can do something where I can give back. I can give the gift of life, even living with HIV. And they feel it's a real sense of pride. So to be honest with you, I have actually had people more receptive when I'm set up at events partnered with the Hope Center or Compass Cares than when I'm just and how the stares and the looks we get when we're set up in the community about organ donation.
Right.
It's been great, but it didn't come overnight. It took, as far as those partnerships, it took, doing things that sometimes had nothing to do with organ donation, but me being there, volunteering, giving out groceries or working the food pantry or the clothing or whatever the case may be. And so those are the things that we have to do. And I do that also just in the community in general, because we are dealing, those are two sensitive subjects: organ donation and HIV.
Oh, yeah.
And so people have to be comfortable with you. And so
Right.
I had the pleasure of being able to partner, and Gregory in his role, we work hand in hand together a lot. And I could not do or have the success that we've had here in Macon, Middle Georgia, with advocating and sharing and bringing awareness about the Hope Act. I could not do it without the help of Gregory and the staff of Compass Cares.
Listen, great. Please add what you just mentioned to me about the need again. The
Could you
being
repeat that?
the holistic need.
Oh,
Um,
okay. So H had mentioned how we have to address other areas or other disparities, if you will, in regards to HIV. Because you mentioned HIV, it touches bases with a lot of different areas as far as mental health, substance abuse, maybe family environment, the living situation. So I can't really tell a person living with HIV or who's newly diagnosed, hey, take this one pill a day, you're gonna be okay. When their first priority may be, I'm homeless. Where am I gonna lay my head at tonight? Or if on the particular medication I'm on, because some do require you to have a meal to take the medication. But if I'm unemployed and I can't provide that need for the food, how can I take my medication? So we have to address all those things. That's why I say it's more of a holistic health and not just, okay, let's focus on this HIV. And then you got to come and play with, okay, the stigma behind it, dealing
right.
with the family members shunning you, your employers or your friends. So it touches a lot of area, not just focusing on the medication.
Right, right. And guys, this is only two of the three guests that I have this evening with them. I'm loving all the information, everything that they're saying to be able to help um, the people that are watching. Like right now, someone might be saying, "There's no hope for me," and so right now, we might have just put a ray of sunshine in somebody's life that I have HIV, now I'm on dialysis. I want to bring on, and I hear a little echo, so hold on for a second. Um, so now I have my next guest. I'm going to bring on Mr. John, and there's nothing better than hearing from a person that is actually experiencing what we're talking about. So he's had this experience. He is HIV. He is living with HIV, and he's also a kidney recipient. And when I heard about it, I said, man, that is that is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. And Gregory, I love how you said that mental, mental health is so very important. Not only with just HIV, but we look at you say you're a veteran. Thank you for your service. You know, and there's a lot that goes on in their minds, and everybody, should have somebody that they can turn to talk to, because you don't have to hold that stuff all in. I know most Christians, people that go to church, they talk to God. Okay, well, we got somebody right here on earth that you can talk to get the answers, for what you're thinking and how you're feeling. And it feels so good to get that off your chest. Listen, I need a
Yes,
better friend and I need a good therapist. I need Jesus and a good therapist. And those are two things that I try to, keep, I try to keep with me. But I'm going to move you two off for a minute and I'm going to bring Mr. John to the screen. So y'all stay right there. We'll move him, move her. And so everybody, this is Mr. John. Woo. I'm so excited, and I'm so grateful for you for being open and candid, and letting us into your world, um, and sharing your story with us here on Transplant Talk. So I'm forever grateful
Yeah,
for you, Mr. John. Thank you so much.
you're welcome.
And now, Mr. John, why don't you give us a little bit about who you are? Who is John Cheeves? Did I say your name? Did I say your last name right?
Cheeves, that's right.
Cheeves. Okay, Mr. Cheeves. What was life like before HIV and before a transplant? What were you like?
Um, I grew up in Macon, but I moved to Toledo. And from Toledo, I started working at Ford Motor Company. And after that, we came back down to Georgia because Ford sent me down here. And I
Okay.
had a good time in my life. I partied early in the morning. I had a good time doing that. I was a little bit loose with my lifestyle. And I enjoyed myself. I had a good time. I retired. I worked at Ford, Lowe's. I worked at the airport. I was in the service, and I had a good time. I enjoyed myself. But then I slowed down a little bit, and after a while, I started getting a little sick, a little bit. Blood pressure's high. Didn't take care of myself. But after a while, I decided to figure out what's going on with my body because I wasn't feeling like I should. So that's when I figured out that I needed to take some tests, and that's when I figured I had HIV.
Hmm.
And I like to say I had a positive attitude about this, and I went from there. Then once I got on dialysis, I was on dialysis for 4 years, and
Okay.
then they asked me about being on having a kidney transplant. I told them no.
Oh. Okay.
I changed my mind, and then Emory called me and asked me about did I know anything about the Hope Act,
Okay.
and they said since I had good blood, and I decided to get on the Hope Act,
Okay.
and
Okay.
then few months later, maybe I think maybe 6 7 months, I believe, wasn't that long. I was on the first transplant for 2 years, didn't hear anything from them.
Okay.
Um, They called me up middle of the night, I think it's like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. They
Mm-hmm.
said, Mr. Cheeves, we got a kidney for you. Can you come up here? So
Oh
I
wow.
got on the expressway. I got to Forsyth, Georgia, about 15, 20 minutes from my house, and they called me up again. They said, well, hold off a minute. We might have a little problem. So I
Okay.
pulled over in Forsyth, Georgia, and his IGA is a grocery store. I
Uh-huh.
waited for about an hour. They said, come
Okay.
on up. So I came up there. They got me prepared. They stuck a needle in me, took 24 vials of blood out of me. The next morning, I had dialysis. And sometimes you see a doctor, they get a look on their face. Three of them came in there with a look on their face. I said, oh my goodness, what's going on now?
Okay.
We got good news and bad news. I said,
Okay.
give me the bad news. They said, well, the kidney we have for you is not a good, viable kidney. The good news is I'm the first on the list for the next kidney.
Okay.
So they
Okay.
sent me back home.
Okay.
My mother was going to this senior citizen place. She hated the place, but she goes anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And one of her little friends had a cane, and she tripped over it, cracked her hip.
Oh no.
She's 85 years old at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So she went to a rehabilitating nursing home.
Mm-hmm.
So we drove, me, my sister, and my brother in my little car. We drove all the way up to Toledo, Ohio. And we seen her at the nursing home. So we went to her house, which was total mess.
Okay.
They wouldn't let me in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I went out with my ex-wife, took her out to dinner. I get a phone call from 770 from Atlanta. That's Emory Hospital. Mr. Cheeves, we got a good kidney for you. How soon can you get here? I'm 850 miles away.
Oh, what? Wait,
Yay.
wait,
So I said, well, I can get there maybe 12 hours. It took us 15 hours to get up there because of the accidents and the traffic and all the other stuff. So I got back there. I said, I ain't got no sleep. He
wait,
said,
wait, wait. Wait a minute. So you went from Georgia to where?
to Toledo, Ohio.
Oh, oh, you drove to Ohio. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, wow. That's a
So I
long
got there in
journey.
12 hours. I said, I haven't got any sleep. They said, well, we'll take care of that. We'll put you to sleep. You got no problem with that one. So me, my brother, and my sister drove all the way back down to Atlanta, Georgia. And I got the transplant.
Okay.
4 hours.
Okay. Okay.
Sometimes with transplants, you have complications. It's inevitable.
Right.
But once I woke up, um, my prostate shrunk. So I couldn't use the restroom. So I had the catheter situation. But all in all, everything worked out for me. I stayed with my sister because you had to
Mhm.
have somebody to stay with once you
Right.
had that transplant.
Right.
And
So
so
how was your family dynamic? What support system did you have? Did they help you in throughout this whole process?
yeah, my sister was my person who I
Okay.
had to deal, who I had to stay with for the
Okay.
whole for the whole month actually,
Okay.
because
Okay.
I had to go to the hospital 3 times a week,
Okay. Okay.
and so she took care of me. I stayed with
Mhm.
her. My brother
Mhm.
helped. My family helped. My immediate family helped.
Mhm.
The rest of the family, they knew about my transplant.
Mhm.
They didn't know about HIV.
Okay.
They wouldn't be able to deal with
But
that.
wait, but wait now, Mr. John, because you on my show right now.
I know they opened the house.
So this exclusive, y'all. This
Yeah.
this is exclusive because listen, I don't know, Mr. John. But again, your candidness. So I guess you said, if they don't know, they're gonna know now.
They will probably know now. I
They're,
really
they're
hope. I
gonna know
really don't.
now.
I'm not worried about that because this is my life. I'm
Mm-hmm.
dealing with it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
enjoying myself, and they'll find out one way or another. I don't really care
Okay.
because I'm enjoying myself. I'm really comfortable with what I'm going through. I have a positive attitude about what's going on with my
Come
life.
on. Okay.
I'm enjoying
Amen.
myself, and
Okay.
I'm really happy with myself. I have
Okay.
issues because the transplant did cause me difficulties because of the prostate situation. I had
Okay.
a catheter in me for 2 months. Each time
Mm-hmm.
they took it out, they had to slam it back in me. So
Oh.
I had surgery for that,
Okay.
which
Okay.
helped.
Okay. Now
Most
you
most
go
men
ahead.
who has that surgery, you would have to have a catheter in you because your prostate shrinks. Because while you was on dialysis, you didn't have to worry about urinating because the dialysis machine took all your
The fluid.
fluids and all the poisons out of your body.
Okay.
But
Okay.
also your bladder shrinks too because of that.
Okay. Wow.
But
Wow.
that's something you got to go through. But once I had that surgery, I was up every 10 minutes to go to the bathroom at nighttime.
Okay.
But
Okay.
that's over with.
That's over with.
I was so happy.
You're so happy. So just to just make sure I guess I understand, your kidney donor was your kidney donor HIV
Yes,
positive as well?
yes.
And so this made, I guess this made the process. I'm gonna bring them back in as well, but this made the process. Did it make it easier for you with being on the transplant list that this person actually had HIV?
Yes, he was a deceased donor.
Okay. Oh, well, so a deceased donor that became an organ donor, and see, man, how awesome! Um, and now you've had this transplant, and it's been how many years now?
2 years.
2 years. Wow. And okay, so you're a deceased donor. Do you all have to wait like 5 years before trying to find out who the donor was?
Um,
Do
that's
you
not
want to know who
important
it
to
was?
me. The person did die to be a donor, which is bad for maybe. Well, I don't know if it's bad for him, but he donated his kidney.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
one more point though about this, about the having being a
the
donor,
uh-huh.
being a recipient.
Hmm.
The first thing they tell you is you might have diabetes.
Oh yeah.
I kept it off for 2 years. I do
Okay.
have diabetes now.
You have that. Okay. HIV, diabetes, and transplant. So can I ask you about your medications and your health? And I'm gonna bring Miss Ellen back in real quick because I know she they actually vouch for you and letting us know that okay, they vouch for you letting us know that you're very proactive with your health and you have a regimen that
Yes.
you. So please tell us, what do you do?
First thing I get up in the morning, I check my blood, I check my temperature, I
Mm-hmm.
do my exercise. I walk between 6 and 9 miles a day
Oh,
total. I take my medications, I check my blood pressure, I eat my breakfast, I stick my finger, and at nighttime I do the same thing. I take my medications, I
mm-hmm.
stick my stomach or my leg for my insulin, and then I stick my finger. I do this every day. I watch what I eat because if I don't eat the right thing, my sugar shoots right on up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a
Okay.
poll worker also, and
Oh.
during the primary, I got so dizzy that day that I got home. I checked my blood sugar before I was on dialysis, before I was insulin. It was up to 350. It should be between 65 and 99.
Sir, what was going on there?
Because I wasn't taking insulin or taking pills,
Mm-hmm.
the regular numbers were way
We're
off
all
each other.
way off. So I'm gonna bring her back in. There she is. So you mentioned, because we are in this pandemic. So how are you making sure that you are safe, especially with having your transplant and you're working the polls as well. So how are you staying safe amongst COVID?
I wear my mask every single last place I go.
Every single place. Okay. Okay.
I check my
Wow.
I check my temperature every day.
Okay. So again, just being proactive. What a great. I mean, that's the only way I know to be is to definitely be proactive and then active. And yeah, I don't know about walking 6 to 9 miles a day. I do good if I get 2 miles in or a mile. So God bless you for being able to do that. I'm gonna bring Mr. Harris back on, and I hope he's ready. And so that we can talk. I'm gonna unmute you. We can talk just a little bit more because I don't like to hold the viewers, no too long. So you all are working together. Somebody's phone is really so. Hold on, let's see. Okay. Um, how do you enjoy working with both of these two beautiful people, Mr. John?
I didn't hear you.
I said, how do you like working with both of these beautiful people?
We just got to know each other, so I'm enjoying myself for now on with these two wonderful people.
Okay. Now, Mr. John told me, hopefully once we get past this pandemic, that he'll be able to, go out and be more of an advocate and, show people that he is a walking living testimony that having HIV, having diabetes. Are you type 1 or 2 now, John? Your diabetes, are you type 1 or type 2?
Type 2.
You're type 2 diabetes. Okay. So I honestly want to just mention again, if because of the Hope Act, you were able to have this experience. And we know that 5 years ago that this probably wouldn't even be possible. So I want to thank Asha for bringing this to my attention. And I know, I'm sorry, I know that there are only a few hospitals in the country, and I was looking at the different hospitals to actually do the transplant in our country. It's only Cleveland Clinic in Florida, in Weston, and then Jackson Memorial out from where I'm from in Miami that actually do the transplant with HIV positive patients. So we know that it's not really, so widespread. And I don't know why, every hospital doesn't do it, but I believe it's a delicate balance that has to be made in order to, and there are certain numbers and procedures that you have to go through in order to do that. And that isn't everyone's specialty. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like I said, I know all the medicines behind it, but I do know as far as over the years, more and more transplant centers are adding. Right now in Georgia, Emory is the only transplant center that will do HIV to HIV transplants. So I just feel like with anything else, as time goes on, more and more transplant centers will offer, will offer the transplants for individuals living with HIV as far as from a donor perspective. Because like I said, I mean, who would have thought 20, 30 years that this would even be possible? And so, even though it's not every transplant center, we are grateful for the ones that are able to offer the transplants to individuals like Mr. Cheeves, and there are several individuals who are living with HIV, and then they're also in need of life-saving kidney, in his case, kidney transplant. So,
okay. Do you think in the future that it might go past just the liver and the kidney?
There's a possibility. I'm not a doctor. I'll make that clear. But when you think back, and originally when the Hope Act was enacted, it was just focused on deceased donation. But since that time, you've even had, like 2 years ago, there was actually a young lady who was from Atlanta who was with HIV, and she was a living kidney donor. She was the first living kidney donor living with HIV. Just a couple of years ago, she's in Atlanta, but the transplant actually took place at Johns Hopkins in Maryland.
Okay.
And so just look where we come from, what we remember growing up as far as what HIV was, to now, individuals living with HIV can be donors, not just deceased donors, but also living donors. So sure, as time goes on, hopefully with the advancement of medication and science, that it will be more than just kidney liver. But right now, though, kidney and liver is in particular kidney is what the majority of patients are on the waiting list are needing anyway, regardless
Right.
of
Right.
HIV status. So
Right.
yeah, but I'm sure at some point that heart, lungs, and other organs, maybe even tissue, may also be an option. But I'm just grateful that President Barack Obama signed into legislation the HOPE Act, so for individuals such as Mr. Cheeves can have the be given the gift of life.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also want to also say too, just from a donor perspective, when I first met Gregory, he was actually considering he was going to remove the donor status off of his license because he didn't think he would be able to donate. And it wasn't until I think I did a lunch and learn at one of their staff meetings that he learned about the HOPE Act and that he could remain a registered organ donor because he was actually about to remove it from his license because he thought because of his status he would not be able to donate. So education and getting the education out there is key. And those of us who work and advocate and work in the OPO world, or organ procurement organizations such as I do, we can't be afraid to also talk about HIV in the back as we're doing our outreach.
Mm. Mr. Gregory. Okay, sometimes I gotta mute y'all. Um, your your candidacy. I think I'm a little loud. All right, I'm gonna try this. All right, your candidate. I know that you wanted to touch on. I wanted to wrap it up so it's not too long. Again, I thank you all for your. I thank you all for your candidness. Is there something else that you wanted to add about your experience and why after this lunch and learn you said okay?
So as H mentioned, it wasn't maybe 2.5 years ago, and I wasn't aware of the Hope Act when I was staying in Virginia. It wasn't until I moved back here doing that lunch and learn. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh my goodness, she's talking about organization. I need to go ahead and change that because I can't be an organ donor anymore because I'm a person with HIV. And after listening to it, I'm like, so I can? What? So it excited me, and from then on, I have been partnering with her. But it gives me a sense of peace or helping. Like I feel like I'm helping humanity rather by um, donating one of my an organ for someone who may be in need, so that they may live a healthier lifestyle, and that it may also prolong their life as well. So then, in that retrospect, they're still here with their family members, enjoying life, and that to me brings me a sense of a serene peace, so to speak.
I'm gonna unmute me. Okay, to make sure that I can, hear everybody and that we could just have this conversation. Again, I am just eternally grateful to all of you for being able to come on and informing the audience on why it's so important, to become an organ donor. And if something happens to you, that there's still a possibility for you to become, an organ donor. And man, I don't want the show to end, but I know I know I have to pause, and I definitely will love to interview, anyone else that's not afraid to just stand up, because I'm forever indebted to Mr. John, because he just said, the heck with everybody else. This is my life. This is my story. And I'm the one living this life. And if more people just honestly thought like that, like, yeah, yes, we're going to get the backlash. Yes, people might be afraid. And normally when you don't know, that was the fear of the unknown is what kills the whole thing for a lot of people. But just to keep the faith and be motivated and keep going, I definitely I applaud you, Mr. John, because you honestly did not have to do that, and but you did. And yes, Mr. Gregory.
Yes, Mr. John, I just want to thank you, and I'm so glad that you are volunteering. So I represent the younger
Right.
generation. obviously.
Right.
But the fact that you're willing to share your experience, I am definitely going to be tagging on you for a lot of events.
Hmm.
Um, but like I say it all the time, nothing can be changed until it is faced. That's also another quote from James Baldwin.
Come on.
But because you're stepping out and facing it, I love it. So I'm definitely going to be bugging you a lot.
See, be ready, Mr. John. You have to be ready. I'm going to unmute you. Mr. John, do you have any last words for
I've had
anyone that's
HIV
thinking about it?
12 years now, 67 years old. I'm enjoying myself, and I hope we'll keep on pushing.
And God bless you to go ahead and see 68, 78, 98. You know, just as long as you're here and you're being active, we greatly appreciate it. I hope everything goes smoothly. Like you said, you living your best life. Go ahead and live your best life. And
Thank
Miss
you.
Asha, do you have any final words for us?
Yes. Well, I just want to say my final words are to you, Shonda. I want to thank you once again for allowing us to utilize your platform. You're doing amazing things. Like I said, it takes a village. It takes a village, and whether we're advocating about organ donation, whether we're advocating about HIV and the Hope Act, regardless, it takes a village, and none of us can do what we do by ourselves. And so
Exactly.
we thank you for allowing us Georgia Peaches
Yes, yes, ma'am.
to
Yes, ma'am.
be a part of the show.
Anytime again, this is your second time, and I'm definitely doing 2021 telethon again for the minority month now. So we'll do it again, and maybe y'all could be on the show and share with other people, as well. So without any further ado, again, I thank you all. I'm gonna put y'all backstage and close out the show, and y'all just stay right there. Don't leave me. All right. And again, everyone, thank you all for watching the show. Thank you, of course, my parents. And let me give a big happy early birthday to my father, whose birthday is tomorrow. So everybody, I'll tell my daddy happy birthday because he definitely my biggest cheerleader. Every time I get off the show, I call and get critique or whatever. My dad, I love him. I'm a daddy's girl. And he's my Linda. I know he knows what that is. Hey, Linda. All right. So thank you all so much. God bless you all. Tune in next week because we are in the holiday season, and there's some more people that story definitely needs to be heard. See, Daddy, people saying happy birthday. All right. So until next time, I enjoy being the force behind the voices of kidney disease, heart transplant recipients, donor recipients, period. I thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart. God bless you. Go register and become an organ donor. Go and register and let me know if you become an organ donor. Oh, don't forget, you can go to Register Me as well. And I'm going to try to get with Donate Life America and see if we can get that, get Save 1,000 Lives on that as well. I appreciate you all so much. Hey, Nat, girl, how you doing? All right, God bless you all, and good night. Thought I had something.